Hey guys, I wanted to give you a disclaimer for this episode and episodes to come. Not everyone's going to say exactly what you want to hear. Not everyone's going to have that exact verse or quote that you need to motivate yourself. You won't agree with everything I or any guest on the show says. I just want to say, we're not sorry. Enjoy yourself and stop taking life and podcasts so seriously. It'll make life a lot easier for you. These conversations aren't published to defame, hurt, or mislead anyone. We're here for an entertaining and educational time under God Almighty. And that's all. All right, enjoy the show.
Keep talking about
You
what
were
I was
talking
saying.
about somatic traumatic healing.
Oh, yeah. So trauma-informed somatic healing.
Okay.
Because your body naturally retains emotion inside of it. So I don't know if you've ever heard of the book, Your Body Keeps a Score.
Oh, vaguely. Yeah.
So it's like a very popular book, but it's all about how your body holds on to emotion. So there's a lot of different techniques you can use to release the trapped emotions. So I'm learning about more techniques, but I know massage was a big one for me that released a lot of the pain that I had, and just stretching and mobility, exercising, and singing. So I'm not like a singer or anything, but now that AI is out, I have made some songs and singing to those. But I figured out singing because, like I said, I was going through a really, really hard time, and I just switched like my mindset into healing. So I switched my music into music that was more healing, and it was stuff I knew the words to. So I realized when I started singing along to it, I felt better.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I started doing breath work, and breath work is really what, like, I would say breath work is really what opened the door to everything, because now that I think about it, I felt like I was suffocating.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't breathe in for more than 4 seconds.
Was that
at a time, like because of my anxiety.
Right.
So I started doing breath work every day and just starting wellness again, because I had been off track with my wellness for almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's how I got into it.
So, I mean, just from reading your page and everything, it seems like you like study 23 hours out of the day.
Yeah, I love to study. I'm a big learning nerd.
That's good.
Yeah, and I like to study a lot of different things, so I'm a little like scattered with it, where I'm trying to get more organized so I can really focus on one topic and then move to the next. But it's kind of hard because it all goes together. So I'm like, just whatever, I'm going to practice them. But I just joined a 12-month, 12 skill challenges that I'm starting in January with a group of people, and we'll learn one skill every month.
Learn or master?
Well, I guess however you want to consider it, but I figured I could do one certificate each month because I already bought all the certificates.
Yeah.
And I've only started one of them so far. So I'm like, that's like 9 certificates right there. That's 9 months worth of work.
There you go.
Plus I study herbalism, and that's an everyday thing already. So that's just on top. And then my practices, I practice breath work, I practice yoga, I practice mobility, and I practice just other types of movement every single day.
Yeah. Do people think that you're dealing drugs? Like, I mean, when I was looking on your page and everything, it looks like, very, how do I put it? Very like, you're holding your phone and you're recording what you're doing, and it's all these herbs and everything. I was like, is this what I think it is, or is it just herbalism? Like, what is?
Well, so it depends on how you look at it, because some people look at cannabis as a medicine. I personally have had it throw me off track in life, but
Same.
I've also used it a little bit medicinally. So breath work was one thing that helped me stop using cannabis.
Like box breathing?
So there's a lot of different techniques, but pranayama is my favorite. And it's like, there's different types of it, like alternate nostril breathing, or I forget what all the fire breathing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different types. But box breathing is one too. And I started like simple like that, just like okay, this is what I'm going to stop smoking, but you have to pick up a habit to drop a habit.
Right.
So I picked up the healthy habit of breath work. I was already struggling to breathe, so it worked out for me. But yeah, with the herbs, I actually almost made a video the other day saying, this takes me back with the scale, weighing everything back.
And I didn't mean to, like, if that was offensive, my bad.
No,
It's
you're
like,
good.
it does look like very low to the ground, like, okay, like this is somebody I would know that would give me these things and teach me this stuff. A lot like somebody who would do drugs recreationally would do. Like, and trust me, I'm no stranger to it.
Right,
Like,
yeah, I mean, I've done
I
it
stopped
all,
smoking myself.
so yeah. So that's how I was brought into healing, I would say, going through all those trials. And I was in active addiction my whole teenage years into early adulthood. I went to prison whenever I was 23. Fought for custody of my kids for 8 years after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started my business right at that point when I got full sole legal custody of my kids back. So that was 5 years ago.
Okay.
So
you were like, now's a good time.
Yeah, like, so yeah, now I actually, that was part of this year was like a huge fight with my teenagers, and they left the house and went to their dad's, and so I had to learn how to be with myself because I've only ever known myself as a mother.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. You seem pretty nurturing, especially looking at you online and everything. You definitely care about your family, so that's good.
Yeah, so that's what made it hard because my kids. So then I'm like, who am I going to nurture besides my pets? So I had to nurture myself because it was hurting me to not nurture anyone else, and I also wasn't nurturing myself.
Dude, I like my wife is like that too. She's always taking care of everybody else, and I have to remind her, like, hey, make sure you're getting some alone time. Hey, make sure if you need me to back off or go do something or take care of the cats or clean up for you, whatever, like, let me know.
Yeah.
I know men go through it too, but I think it's like almost genetically specifically with women who just have that nurturing bone.
Right.
You know, you said you've been doing it your whole life essentially.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can nurture plants too.
Right. Oh, I do now. I know my plants are so much happier. Like, yay.
There was Corinne. I talked to her on last episode, and she was talking about how she did an experiment back in high school about how different plants responded to different vibrations.
Mm-hmm.
So she had one listen to hip hop, one listen to country, one listen to metal, one listen to like worship or gospel, and the ones that listened to metal and hip hop, they died.
Oh, wow. That doesn't surprise me.
No, I mean, yeah, vibration. I'm sure they talk about it in, what is it, Ayurvedic or Ayurvedic? Ayurvedic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ayurvedic. I'm sure they talk about vibrations and everything like that in there too.
I'm gonna have to look into it now.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought it was fascinating, and it is fascinating how everything is connected, and that's a lot of how what you do talks about. Even on your post, you were saying how everything is connected in time and space, and mind and body, and spirit and soul.
Right. Yeah.
Before we go any further, can you like introduce yourself?
Yeah.
I'm horrible at intros. Yeah, we are well at.
So my name's Angela Dickson, and what else do I say?
You can like give your title. You can give who you are as a person.
Okay, so I am the owner of Goof Proof Cleaning Solutions, and now a newly owner of Elemental Wellness Company. So I started both those companies on my own. I've been running Goof Proof with my oldest sister as like my primary helper.
Great name, by the way.
Of my business?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
I do love that.
It took me 2 days to come up with that, writing names on a sheet of paper until I was like, that's the one. And I looked it up, and nobody in the whole entire country has that
there you
name.
go.
So
you didn't use the internet at all for inspiration?
I may have. It was during COVID, so we had plenty of time to get inspired and think. Nothing. Yeah. I'm very good at finding stuff to do.
There you go.
So yeah, that's how. So I own both those businesses. I already had experience as a cleaner, so I just had to learn how to do residential cleaning instead of commercial cleaning. So that came with a little bit of challenges.
Definitely different. Yeah.
Yeah, building confidence and building relationships with people so that they would trust me. And then just like the ebb and the flow, and just being able to trust that business was going to come to me, because it will come and it will drop off. Clients, like for example, I had one of my highest paying clients cancel on me today, and like during holiday season that happens. I've lost 2 customers this month, but I've doubled it with new customers who showed up right after they dropped off. So like having faith for me is big for business. And so when I started my wellness journey, having faith was exactly what I needed, because I maxed out all my credit cards and everything that I had, physically, emotionally, all that, and poured it into wellness, my wellness practices, and my business. And I just know in my heart that I'm on the right path, and I trust that it's going to go exactly how it's supposed to.
100%. And you don't look like you second guessed it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Did you have any doubt? Like, were you saying in your head, like, hey, I could actually use some of this money, like for anything else?
Well, I mean, yeah, when I needed to buy $200 and something worth of dog food the other day, and I'm like, wow, my credit cards are all maxed out. But I went on a website and it just happened to have Affirm options, so I put that in there. And this month, I know it's December, and I have a lot of customers who are very generous and they give me bonuses. So that will help me a lot to catch back up. And then I'm going to do some holiday events with my herbs and some other like wellness kits I put together. So I expect to make some money back off of that.
Good.
And then whatever happens from there.
I don't have any doubt in you. Yeah, I don't think anybody else who works with you does either. What was it like to trust yourself starting out, especially in a time like COVID? You know, and we talk about COVID a lot on the show because people just refer to it as like a historical, like world history landmark.
Right.
It affected everything.
Yeah, seriously, it like shifted the whole life. I think everybody's whole life shifted in some way. But yeah, I would say I was kind of nervous. It just happened that I had the time and space to do it. So
definitely a blessing.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was more so once me and my girls got into our own house and it was just us, and I was like having to fill a propane tank and take care of this big house out in the country with a big yard, plus run my cleaning business. Plus, once I hired somebody who needed the money just as much as I did, that was where I would get nervous, because I felt responsible for somebody else's income.
Yeah, and having children.
Yeah.
So you had to like triply bad as somebody who had no responsibility.
Right.
You know, that's good though. That's good. Do you feel like you had to do a lot of convincing, or was it just, hey, I'll prove to you through the work and then build that relationship?
For my kids, you mean?
Well, anything business.
Or just building my business. Yeah. It was really just like, I'm doing this. Whether anybody supports it or not, I know what I do great at.
Yeah.
So there's going to be somebody out there to support it, but I'm not really thinking about the people who are scoffing at me or like, oh, that's just Angela. She's came from this. Like, how is she going to be some successful business owner? Yeah, so watch me.
I don't think we allow enough people to grow nowadays, especially with the internet, especially with everything being documented and everything like that.
Yeah.
Have you always, like, even back when, like, earlier before you even started a business, were you always a person to allow yourself to grow, allow yourself to evolve and to study different types of things, and honestly just be different, you know? Being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart, like you were saying.
Yeah.
At the same time, specifically what industries you're in, I feel like there's not too much education on it from an audience perspective.
When I was younger, I started out caregiving. And like, I grew up in a family with 9 kids. So, and my kids were all born by the time I was at the age of 20. My firstborn passed away and I was 16. My other daughters were born at 18 and 20. So I was a very young mom.
Oh.
And I also helped with like my great grandmother, helped take care of her, then followed her to a nursing home, worked at nursing homes for several years.
Mm-hmm.
So I always was challenged with like harder skilled jobs. So that's kind of
Emotionally
something
and
I
physically.
enjoy. Yeah. Oh, I love taking care of people. That's why this coaching thing is so suitable for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it means more that I can help somebody heal their own body. I don't have to be doing all the caregiving. I can teach you how to caregive for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's
See,
what
I'm
it
saying
came
that's
from.
automatically different.
Yeah.
than most of the other people I encounter on Facebook running a business.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Most people don't have the capacity not only to care for other people like you do, but to make it a mainstay and make it a source of income in their life. That's awesome. Seriously.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I forgot what we were talking about exactly. Oh yeah, how pretty much just your journey where you are now, where you started as caretaking and everything. You were saying,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. So, like I said, we have 9 kids in our family, but my youngest brother's only 15,
Mm-hmm.
same age as my youngest daughter. So, I grew up like taking care of the kids younger than me, but I also was battling addiction from the time I was 13 years old. So I was on juvenile probation my whole juvenile life. Graduated whenever I was 18. They had me do a speech because I was their longest standing drug court client who never got sent to treatment. And looking back now, I don't feel like I deserve a trophy for that. I feel like the probation officer should have took a deeper look at what they were doing because I could have gotten help at a younger age. But so my first time going to treatment wasn't until I was 31. So that was in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was actually right after I started my business. But I'll go back a little bit to that time I was a teen, and I always wanted recovery. So that was always something I was fighting for, was to be sober. So while I battled addiction, I fought for recovery. And I can remember like yesterday I was listening to the song I made, and it was saying that I'm proud of the woman I am now because I remember praying for her. And I just like pictured myself sitting on my front porch, just bawling and just asking God, like, please just help me be better. Like, I just don't want to feel like this anymore. So I feel like all those trials, battling addiction, I ended up going to prison whenever I was 23, like I said.
Prison?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Man.
So,
It doesn't, none of what you're saying looks like who you actually are right now at all. So,
yeah.
what you were praying for did get actualized. So you should pat yourself on the back for that.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
I admit I keep cutting you off.
No, you're good. Yeah. So, it's so much in a story. It's so hard to just summarize, but having my kids young and experiencing like being a very hard worker, I was the sole income of our household. We went through homelessness a lot. And then in and out of addiction, I was mainly battling coming off of what they call medication assisted treatment, and that's Suboxone or methadone.
Mm-hmm.
So you get put on those drugs so that you don't take street drugs or you're not chasing street drugs.
So they're sedating you with something that's going to keep you addicted anyway?
Yes, to keep you from not getting sick so you basically don't spiral out of control.
They're essentially saying, come to our drug dealer so you don't go on the street with those hooligans or whatever.
Right.
I've heard about Suboxone too.
Yeah, that was the hardest one.
I heard that's a tough one.
Yeah, it took until 2019 for me to come off of that.
Yeah, and I feel it's so easy to just put somebody in a program, or say, hey, I'll pray for you, this, that, and the third. And even if you're actually praying for somebody, there's actual effort we can put into getting people help younger and younger and younger, even if it's just giving them a good word,
Yeah.
And were people speaking into your life at all? Or did you feel, or were you just not in the mind state at all to even register what people were saying to you back then?
Oh no, like I said, I desired recovery a lot. A big part of my problem was the crowd. Like, I grew up around all drug dealers.
Yeah.
So that was hard to escape later in life because I was really drawn to that, like, fast life, fun, whatever. It wasn't probably that fun, but
yeah, it's just unique to what you normally see. You know?
Yeah, like, it wasn't boring, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I can understand that. You know,
Yeah.
they're getting fast money. You might take a trip a few hours outside where you live, so that's exciting.
Right, compared to raising 6 kids under me while my mom's at work.
Yeah, and you wanted that change of pace.
Yeah.
I can understand that. I don't think anybody would fault you for doing that.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, so I had, like, my probation officer would ask me, like, what do you need? But I never really knew what I needed. So I didn't really have answers for her. And then my dad was a member of Alcoholics Anonymous and had quite a few years sober whenever I was, like, in my early teens. So I got introduced to that, and I actually went for myself from the time I was, like, 14 forever. Like, I'll still pop into meetings sometimes. So that was a good introduction to me. So I always knew there was hope.
Yeah.
I always pictured myself being that woman behind the podium telling my story, but every time I would slip, I'm like, what the hell? What the heck? I'm literally never going to end up there if I can't stay sober, or I, like, compare myself to people who has 20 something years sober instead of being in the moment of who I am and making sure I'm just working towards my own goals. So, yeah, I had role models and stuff. It just was, like I said, that medication-assisted treatment was a really tough one. And I was also in a couple of emotionally abusive relationships and, like, very controlling. So most of my relationships, I had 3 of them, they didn't want me on those meds. So I would force myself to come off them faster than I should, and that's what would put me into, like, haywire. And so it was like a vicious cycle.
What does the doctor say? And I don't want everybody to think that we're just harping on your past and everything. So we will get to here and now what you're studying and everything, because it is good. I just need to ask, like, what does the doctor say? Are they like, hey, we're going to put you on this because what you're experiencing is already so bad? I feel like most people don't know how someone gets caught up in a drug-assisted program like that, you know?
Well, you just know when you're on the streets doing stuff, it's a hustle every single day. You wake up sick. You have to figure out how you're going to get money. Then you have to get whatever you're going to take to feel better. So you know about the doctors. So as long as you're willing and you have a medical card, you can show up at a doctor and you know they're going to write you the prescription that's going to make you not be sick. And some of them, like the Suboxone doctors, they give you longer periods. You might have a month worth of medicine. You don't have to go to the doctor. So that gets you out of that hustle life. But the methadone clinic is one of the first ones I went to, and I had to drive from Marion to Columbus 6 days a week to take that medicine.
Every day.
Every single day.
Oh my gosh.
And I was 20 years old with 2 kids. And so I was on that for about 8 months, and I said, no.
No, that's terrible.
Yeah, it was horrible. I gained a whole bunch of weight. I felt so unhealthy. It was making me, like, I lost my job because I had a tire fly off my car while we were driving home. I had to drive there at like 3 a.m. and sit in the parking lot till they opened at 6 a.m. to be one of the first people in to get out and get to work on time. So, yeah, that was a huge hustle. So the Suboxone did slow things down. But, yeah, I ended up leaving a relationship and getting in one with my firstborn baby's dad, who actually died in 2020.
Sorry about that.
Thank you. So he was like one of the biggest drug dealers from the town I was from. So that took me back to that lifestyle I hadn't been in since I was like 17 or before I had my daughters. So I spiraled real fast. My charge happened within like 2 months of being back around him, and I was in jail just a few months after that. And when I went to jail, I was like convinced that this was my life. I was pretty much gonna ruin my kids' lives if I was around, and I didn't want that for my kids. So I attempted suicide whenever I was in jail, and I was obviously not successful. Thank God.
Thank God.
Yeah. I've had 2 uncles that committed suicide, so I think that was like in the back of my mind, so it just so happened the jail knew my family. My grandma used to work there. She called them. She had them come visit me in the middle of the night, one of the deputies or whoever was in charge. And I just remember my dad telling me, like, we don't give up. Like, that's not who we are. You're not allowed to give up.
You don't seem like a person that would give up whatsoever.
Yeah, now, no. Like, I would never think to do that again, but I feel like that was a huge turning point of my life because then I was locked up for a year and a half, so I had a lot of time to sit and think. And that's actually where I got introduced to yoga, and that's where I started working out, was in prison. And I started to read. I never did any of that. I think I had read one book up until that point, and it was Mr. Popper's Penguins, and I was probably in like 4th grade.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Did you see the Jim Carrey movie adaptation of it?
No.
You would like it.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it.
I'll pull up a trailer while you're talking still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got introduced to yoga there.
I got introduced to yoga. So they have like workout classes. They have different like church or AA meetings or whatever type of religion or whatever. I went to church and I went to AA meetings and I went to the gym. And I actually joined the military program there at one point because I'm so extreme. I'm like, I want the hardest workouts we can do.
You're a crazy person.
Yeah. And then I quit after 2 weeks. So.
Okay. All right. So you're back to normal after that.
Yeah. So
they had the military training in jail.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
It's not actual military. So
okay, that was going to be my question. I'm like, are they just going and picking people from there?
No, they're just having us live that lifestyle. Basically, we were responsible for like groundskeeping. We would get woke up in the middle of the night and we would go buff floors and wax floors or do different services. And then we would wake up at 5 a.m. and most people weren't allowed to get out of their bed at 5 a.m. So we'd go out.
Because they thought they would try something or hurt somebody or try and escape?
It was just lockdown hours.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so you're only allowed to go to the bathroom during lockdown. And so we had that gap of time nobody else had where we could go right out to our front room and do a hardcore workout. So that was fun to me. But the problem was we weren't allowed to talk to anybody else in the whole dorm, which was like 200 other women. And my only 2 friends were in the middle of the dorm.
Right.
So that's why I quit the military program.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, you want to watch this trailer real quick?
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know if everybody listening can hear, but it's up pretty loud. No, this came out like 15 years ago.
Wow.
Please use your mighty power to stop the melting of the polar ice.
I wonder if Jim Carrey believes in God. Like, he has a lot of those types of things in his movies. So. Yeah, I've never read the book. I've only seen the movie. It's not bad.
That's funny.
I'm not coming into work today because I have a pest problem.
Yeah. I don't even remember what this movie's about. Do you remember?
Nope.
I don't need you. I don't want you in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Look yourself together.
Yeah, that's cute.
When it first came out, I was like, this is left of center from everything I've ever seen him do. So, but looking back on it, it makes perfect sense. Like, he's in the Sonic movies and everything now, so
I love Jim Carrey. It actually looks like me living my life with my dogs and my cats right now. So
we need some videos of that.
Yeah.
If you guys are dancing like he was right there. Right? Okay, so that's just fun. Yeah, I love that. When did you get out, and what was your mindset after that? You know, because it seemed from what I'm hearing, if I remember correctly, you go in, you know, you get introduced to yoga, start working out more, make a couple friends, and then after that you get out, and then COVID happens, then you start everything? Or?
So I got out in 2014.
Okay.
And at first I came out with a positive mindset, but the only place I had to go was my mom's house. And I ended up getting a job at McDonald's and Fazoli's, and I walked to work every day at like 4 a.m., worked all day long, came home. For whatever reason, after I don't even know if it was a month, my kids' dad and their grandma stopped letting me see my kids. So then I just kind of was like, well, I'm going to do whatever then. So I started smoking, drinking a little bit, just hanging out with people that were fun to me, because at that point, what else was I doing?
What's there to live for at that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started dating, and I'm like, maybe if I could get a stable relationship, then I could stabilize faster, because it was really hard stabilizing from my mom's house, walking to work and working at McDonald's. Like, I really didn't make that much money. My mom didn't even have a vehicle at the time. So
McDonald's isn't even worth the walk.
Yeah, like I helped her buy a vehicle with my money from McDonald's. And so I actually met somebody who told me their brother's from Jordan. He's an electrical engineer. He's looking for a wife. He wants to come here.
Jordan, the country Jordan? Like Egypt Jordan?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
from Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah, so they fed me the dream that we were going to have a real marriage. I could get my car, get my kids, go to school. Everything would be good. Yeah. So I'm like, heck yeah, sign me up. You know, I'm a risk taker.
Sounds like an arranged marriage.
It was basically an arranged marriage. We got married after about 2 weeks of him coming here, and I moved in with him at his brother's. And
it was like actually one of those green card situations.
He did get a citizenship through our marriage.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool. I love how through all of it you're still kind of nurturing.
I'm starting to question myself, because I almost like throw myself to the wolves for the benefit of other people.
Yeah, I mean, so is entrepreneurship at a certain point.
Yeah.
You know, not that I'm not making fun of you, I promise.
No, like, you're good. I know.
Seeing the parallels.
I'm one of the people that I'll say, like, if I'm out drowning and I have the raft and somebody else is in the water, I'm like, take my raft. It's fine.
The opposite of Kate Winslet in Titanic.
Right. Yeah.
So he got a citizenship through you.
Yep, he got a citizenship. But our marriage, because we were so differently cultured, it was really hard. And I was trying to get my kids back, and he wanted to stabilize in this country before he would help me get my kids back.
Right.
So my kids, like in the midst of it, my kid's dad was also in and out of jail. He let my kids move in with me. I still didn't have custody, mind you. So for 9 months, they lived with me. I was paying child support. I filed for custody because I was paying child support. My kids lived with me.
Yeah.
They took my kids from me and didn't let me see them until we went through court. By that point, I was going through a divorce with my husband and had been staying with my mom.
They like put them through the system?
No, they stayed with their dad's mom.
Okay.
And they gave her the custody. Family. Yeah. Okay. Well, by the time, they found me unfit to be a mother because I was living at my mom's, even though their dad had custody while he was living at his mom's. So then I had to fight her for custody, which a judge recently said he hates to hear that word, fighting. And now that I think about it, like, yeah, I feel like I have just fought for my kids their whole lives. And I blame myself too, because I went through all these hard times. Like, I made crappy decisions.
I mean, that's just being open and honest, you know? Like, a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough pill to swallow, and it's even more of a tough pill to have to tell other people that. Especially if you're like, for example, my cleaning business is a whole different realm of wellness. So it's going to be easier for me to tell my hard stories in the wellness business. But I'm like, my cleaning clients might hear this and they don't know. Some of them know my story, but, you know, most of them don't get a chance to ever ask me. They just know I've been trustworthy, I've been loyal, and I've done a great job at their houses. So if they hear it now,
it was years ago though,
right?
You know? It was like, there's statute on some of these things.
Yeah, for some people. Some people don't think that though.
Yeah, a lot of people just want an enemy or a bad guy.
Yeah.
And I've been that way too. I've had to repent of stuff like that. But if you look at people for who they're trying to be and who they are, you got to make that decision for yourself. So,
right.
I think that this is honestly helpful, you know?
Yeah.
But I've also just met you. I'm sure you're doing great work too.
Yeah. Thanks. So my husband and I went through that divorce. I actually left that house. I had no vehicle or anything. I ended up getting a vehicle through a nannying gig that I did. The father bought me a van for $800. I moved out and moved into my van until I could get an apartment. And then I moved into an apartment directly across the street from my kids and tried to fight for custody of them again. And what I feel looking back is I didn't get custody for as long as I did because I kept trying to use a relationship to stabilize me. So I did that twice with my husband. Yes.
Okay.
So finally in 2019, when I made another jump coming off Suboxone, I left the relationship I was in, went and stayed with a roommate, and COVID hit. And I had been going to AA. I was sober 10 months. I was running an AA meeting 7 days a week on Zoom. I took my kids in full time because they were out of school and their grandma wasn't going to stay home with them. And they were like 10 and 12. I don't even know if they were 10 and 12. They might have been younger. So I'm like, no, they're not about to stay home all day by themselves. I'll take them. I always took them when they were out of school, on the weekends, during the summer, all that anyways. So I told my job I cannot work, so I'm going to need the FMLA. So I didn't get the unemployment benefits like everybody else did, a lot of money. Like I got a little bit of money. So my friend who I lived with, she was always telling me, girl, you need to start a cleaning business. You need to start a cleaning business. You're going to be so great. I have a little cleaning caddy you can have. She was a cleaner too, so I don't know why she didn't.
Your friend is helpful.
Yes. I thank her because she is the reason I feel like I started the cleaning business.
Yeah.
And I did it from her house, and then I got an apartment real quick after that. But during my move, I slipped dating. I went back to dating. Everything was shut down at the time, but I don't know if you remember when COVID started to open back up, the first thing to open back up was bars.
Oh, yeah. They actually never closed.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They were labeled as essential.
That's crazy.
They were as essential as a CVS.
That's really crazy.
Yeah. Looking back on it, it makes sense that they were, though. People needed a place for comfort.
Yeah.
And nobody was distancing whatsoever.
And they didn't know how to drink tea for comfort, so.
Yeah. Is it true that tea, like, per capita has more caffeine than coffee? Is that true? Ever heard that? Or is it just certain teas?
So what I drink is herbal, what I thought was called, now I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Oh, we got the internet too, if you want to misspell it.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Well, anyways, I figured out that it is called, like, you can call it tea, but it's herbs. You could put black tea or green tea if you want. They both have less caffeine than coffee.
Okay.
But black tea has more caffeine than green tea, but herbs have no caffeine at all. So they're more medicinal, and they run off energetics. So just like our body, so just like we were talking about how we're all connected to nature.
Yeah.
Nature is hot, cold, wet, or dry. Our bodies are hot, cold, wet, or dry. And the energetics of the herbs are the same. So based on what's going on in your body, say you're real hot and you have a dry cough. you need a mucinologist. I'll butcher that word every time. You need an herb that is going to moisturize your respiratory system so that you don't have that dry cough. It soothes you in that way. And you're going to take a cooling herb so your body cools down from the inside out.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's real deep like that.
Yeah.
So that's why Ayurveda is so special to me, because it teaches you how to read those signs in your body and not only use herbs, but how you eat. So different foods have different tastes, and those tastes are associated with wet, dry, cold, and hot.
I did not know it was all that interconnected.
Yeah.
You know? Have you encountered anybody that was like, this is psychobabble? You know, because when you talk, it makes perfect sense.
Right.
You know
Not
what I mean?
yet. I mean, like my dad a year ago, like some of the things I would tell him to do, because he has battled night terrors for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be like, I don't believe in that, or that goes against what I believe because he's a Christian.
Right.
And I'm like, no, it doesn't. God created nature.
Right. Literally.
But somebody has to experience their life for what it is. And if you're not open to trying something, then you're not going to experience it for what it's meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I never try to force anything. That's why I've always just tried to be an example. So now my family sees like, okay, this probably is for real. So we all just did like a ceremonial tea at Thanksgiving, and it was burdock root, and it was a liver tonic. Burdock root helps your liver process emotion, because your liver holds on to fear.
Burdock
It's
root?
either fear or anger, because your gallbladder holds on to the other one.
I feel like your liver would hang on to fear. I would say fear.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Gun to my head, I would say
I think
fear.
I'm wrong though. I think.
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
No, keep talking though.
So, anyway, first my sister started taking the teas, and I kept telling everybody, quitting caffeine changed my life. It changed my level of anxiety, focus, like my sleepiness, all that. So my first thing was stopping caffeine. And then I just talked about it all the time until finally I had my older sisters who started to try it for themselves. And then they saw the power of quitting caffeine and switching to these teas and how much better they felt. And then my grandma has a lot of different medical things going on. And she and a couple other family members had already been drinking Essiac tea, and it had helped her. Like, she was on oxygen every day, all the time. She was no longer on oxygen after she started drinking the tea.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So they saw the power of that. So the more they saw me getting into herbs, they're like, okay, like, we want to try some. So
there's merit to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also funny how Christians will they'll bless the food. They'll like pray that it blesses the nourishment of their bodies, and then it's Taco Bell.
Right. Like, no. Yeah. But I did eat Taco Bell the other day.
Taco Bell's good in its proper state. You know what I mean? But if you're just asking for it to be blessing all the time, like, yeah,
right,
it'll nourish you for 30 minutes until it comes through.
Oh my gosh, yeah. After we ate it, I was like, I actually don't even feel like I ate. Like, it was really just a craving that I went for. And sometimes that's okay. Like, life is all about balance. And if you're out and you haven't eaten and your blood sugar is dropping and Taco Bell's right there, like, have you some Taco Bell. But when you go home, don't forget to take your herbal vitamins or drink your tea and finish your evening with intention, so that you're still following through with your own goals and what healthy life that you want to have.
Yeah, that's crazy. You're talking about your dad and the night terrors and everything, because I have like vivid, wicked dreams. I don't smoke anymore. I don't drink caffeine like that. I'll have an occasional soda. I wonder if some of that will actually help, like the herbalism you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I also think it's kind of cool to have dreams like that. It lets you know what your subconscious is actually trying to process.
Yes. I wrote a post about that last night.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through and scour again.
Yeah.
When you're going through and you're learning about all this stuff, how quick are you to like implement or tell people about it or put it into your business?
So right now, pretty much immediately.
Okay.
So I actually just got a separate phone because I realized I'll sit down to study, and while I'm studying, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I want everybody to know that. And then I'll stop studying to go on, and I'll get kind of stuck on teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to separate it now so that I'm not like stealing from myself my study time to strictly teach, because I'm not going to be able to gain the amount of skill and knowledge that I want to if I'm constantly being pulled in another direction.
I love how you said that you're stealing from yourself, because it 100% feels that way most of the time when you're posting.
Yeah.
Even if you're educational and like telling people things, like you see people, even I share like Bible verses or revelations of things that I read. And I'm like, how much of this should I have kept to myself and just told somebody in real life? Is that actually doing better?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that you said that. That's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, that's a part of like the 8 limbs of yoga. And she talked about it, the teacher in our class the other night, was the practice of non-stealing and how we can steal from ourselves in the moment just by like comparing ourselves to another person. Instead of just appreciating who we are, we robbed ourselves of that moment and that joy. So yeah, now I'm trying to really focus on that aspect of yoga. And that's Ayurveda encompasses yoga and mindfulness, and because your mind and body is connected. So if you're constantly separating that, then things get kind of distorted and chaotic.
Yeah.
And you can just center yourself by reconnecting through your mind and your body together.
I do have like a litany of questions, but do you think people can get to these states of like wellness without any of the herbalism or breathing techniques, or do you think it's not possible?
Well, I definitely think everybody can go through their own path of what they feel connects with them. So maybe everybody doesn't do breath work. Maybe you choose to do meditation, or maybe you choose to take a walk in nature or say a prayer. I personally learned how to habit stack. So I think like Atomic Habits or something was like a book I read and learned how to habit stack. So I started to try different modalities like that. And then I would list them, and whatever ones I was most consistent with or got the best results out of, those would be the ones I'd carry with me into the next month or however I tracked it. So yeah, I definitely think it's all customizable. Just like working out, you're not going to work out a professional athlete in the same way you are a 90-year-old in a nursing home or something.
Right.
You know, like everybody's going to have their own thing.
There's just layers of complexity with every human being. Yeah. One thing I like about you, like, is how like humble you are. You know, that's a very humbling thing to even start a cleaning service, for profit or not for profit, because you have to be humble enough to do something for somebody else, especially as intimate as like cleaning their business or their home.
Yeah.
I remember in college, like I was trying to get Papa John's pizza. Right, I love Papa John's, but I went into my friend's dorm room and asked if I could wash their dishes for like $10, and they're like, "Why would you do that?" And I was like, "Just because I want Papa John's." But I was clearly like, it was a transaction for me. But it feels like you really take care of the people and the clients that you work with.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of how I started too. Like I said, I always was caregiving for somebody. People I lived with when I was younger, when I would end up homeless, we'd move in with like friends, family, or things like that. I would notice they'd have a bunch of dishes or their living room's full of toys everywhere. So that would be my payment of having a place to live. Or if I needed like $10 or something, like, can I clean your house for you? So it started off like that. That's how I got into cleaning. I just didn't realize that until I was a professional cleaner. Like, wow, this is really something I've carried through my whole life.
Yeah. That's awesome. I was saying that also to ask, like, have you experienced any ego death, like just through your journey? Because you're not like an egotistical person. Like from what just talking to you long form now, like you're really awesome. I know like running a business, no matter what it is, comes with competition, comes with being competitive. You know, and it could develop that, but it doesn't seem like that's anywhere near you. You know?
Right. I think I struggle more with recognizing my self-worth. So I'm more insecure compared to like egotistical. So that is what I had to build up, was my self-image, how I look at myself, and stop stealing from myself by comparing myself to other people, because other people didn't live my journey. So yeah, that's been the hardest part. I think that this year and then those like 2020, 2021, really all the way 2020 to now, has been a major building of my self-worth.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. It's a lot harder. We were talking about Christian folk earlier. Like I talked to a lot of them that struggle with loving themselves, even though they know Jesus loves them. You know, and how you see yourself in the mirror is probably the second most important thing you could ever do or realize outside of how other people see you or how you see the world. You know, it's something that I feel like talking to you and people hearing from you and working with you, they could develop within themselves. You know, because hearing your story, it seems like you were always trying to get here, like right now. Not talking to me, obviously. I appreciate your time.
Well, no, even here, look, I'm behind the podium.
No, I was thinking that when you were doing the 6 days a week, 7 days a week meetings and everything, AA meetings, I was like, oh, you got behind the podium. It was just online.
Yeah, and I actually did end up behind the podium and got to tell my story during that once COVID opened back up. So I experienced it, but it wasn't like, you know, I haven't got 20 years sober, so I don't know if I'll ever get 20 years sober. But what I did get is a lot of self-discipline. I feel like what I had to learn was how to master not overdoing things. So even when I would slip or whatever, like I eventually kind of stopped calling it a slip. If I had a glass of wine, I don't have glasses. Maybe I've had a glass of wine like a couple times this year or something, but it's not something I want to carry with me. So I learned how to stop doing the things that don't align with me.
Yeah. If you're addicted to anything, it's the grind.
Yeah, like I don't want that. And I don't want anything to hold on to me. So that's why I don't even drink caffeine, because I don't want to wake up with those headaches. I spent so many years having those attachments that I don't want to have that anymore. So that's been my like main focus, is to keep from having unhealthy attachments.
Yeah. Would you consider it a skill being able to clean professionally? Like, or is it just something that lazy people don't do?
That's so funny that you say that, because I have to catch people that work with me all the time like, oh my gosh, they're just lazy. I'm like, no, like most, like, okay, there's probably some lazy people that just don't clean their house, but I feel like everybody who slips in one area is higher achieving in another area of their life.
Yeah.
So they may be doing something fun with their kids, and that's what's taking away from their cleaning. And to me, that's more valuable. Like I had to learn myself how to stop being so worried about my house being perfect to enjoy the moments of life. So it is definitely a skill to learn how to professionally clean, because you have to learn how to do it systematically and in a proper sequence to get it done in a certain amount of time. But yeah, I don't necessarily think that just because somebody doesn't clean or hires us that they're lazy. I just think they want to be able to put their energy into something that is more valuable or important to them.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to, invest in something like Factor Meals, but it's just too expensive when I can just make it myself.
Right.
And it feels better when you're either cleaning something or cooking something yourself or making something for somebody. My wife's super into gift giving.
Yeah.
Or even decorating,
Oh, yeah.
for Christmas or the holidays or whatever. It feels good to touch things,
Yeah.
and to work on it yourself and to tinker and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you did mention systems and everything. How systematically in your head or whatever you have written down for business, what is it like? Because you are running two businesses. How do you make sure that the wellness doesn't get kerfuddled with the cleanliness, or do you kind of mesh them together to make sure that two separate entities are getting the same care from you?
So I actually have been saying for years, I don't want to clean anymore. I do not like cleaning unless somebody else is doing it for me. Forget cleaning. But I thought I was going to do it for a few more years. Like, I'm going to just stick it out while my daughters are still growing up because it pays the bills.
Yeah.
Until I can focus more on, I had started going to school to become a social worker. I stopped again because I wanted to be able to focus on being a mom. My kids weren't going to be at home that much longer.
Fair. No,
So,
100% fair.
Yeah. So cleaning, right now, I agreed, like, with my sister, all of a sudden, like, we're going to build our business. We thought about going into commercial, and we still advertise, but we don't like get many commercial jobs. I have one right now. But I focus on the cleaning just enough to make sure my sister has enough work, my one helper has enough work, and I have enough work to keep myself to where I can invest into my own growth and the certificates I'm doing and my business on the side. So it is a game of like balance, but I'm pretty much, like you said, like studying 23 hours a day, but I sleep enough. Like, I literally have this month, one of my habits is shutting my phone off or turning on do not disturb at 8 p.m.
Smart.
I got to turn off my lights and light the candles and set the tone for winding down.
Yeah.
So that I'm in bed by 10 because I wake up at 5:19, which was my son's birthday.
Aw.
Yeah, so I wake up at 5:19 and then I do my breath work and then I do my mobility and then I do whatever workout I'm supposed to do. And then it just depends from there, like what I would like to do is study. Sometimes I end up cleaning my house. Sometimes I'll, like right now, I'm like making all my herbal mixtures because the event that I have coming. So it's still a work in progress because I just officially launched that wellness business. Like last month. So I'm learning how to balance it, but I really see myself going more into the wellness and less into cleaning.
Okay. Yeah. What's that event? Where are you gonna be?
So it's at Schultz Elementary.
Okay.
It's like a Secret Santa. I forget what the name is they changed it to, but it's on December 14th, and that's in Delaware.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, what does herbalism have to do with Santa Claus?
So it is a craft show. So anybody who does homemade type of things can go and vend there. So there's like bakers and people who crochet and things like that. So I blend my own loose leaf teas. I advertised as loose leaf teas and wellness gifts and wellness education because I plan to like have like pamphlets of wellness education that I'm just gonna give out for free.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's what parents will get to go around and shop while the kids go over to the Secret Santa area and they shop for their parents.
Dude, that's awesome. I wouldn't mind taking a class from you.
Yeah.
No, I'm essentially getting a crash course right now.
Exactly.
But that's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be awesome. You said it's on the 14th of December this year?
Yep.
Okay, cool. What where do you see yourself when it comes to wellness, when it comes to cleaning? I know you talked about cleaning a little bit, but do you always want to be an operator, or do you want to, build operators as well, build those systems to where you can focus on those high level concepts and continue in the study? Seems
Yeah.
like you want to like implement uh doctrine is like a harsh word, but like a certain apparatus of like knowledge for people to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's my main priority. Like, I feel like the cleaning business is just getting me by financially.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fine with keeping that as a side job for as long as I need to while I'm building up knowledge and wisdom to be able to share with other people. And I'm not a money hungry person. Like, I could go out and live in a shed with my dog and my two cats and be happy if I got somewhere I can plant a garden and I can go explore whatever I want, be at nature. Like, that's my dream. My dream's not to have some big house or, anything real fancy. Like, it's more just natural and organic, and to be able to like authentically connect to the meaning of what life really is,
Yeah.
which isn't a hustle and bustle.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is because you have to do that to get to that point of homeostasis you're talking about.
Yeah,
It's really weird, but we do live in a capitalist society. You
right.
it's that balance you were talking about, but it's like not stealing from yourself in a way of always choosing comfort or choosing the moment.
Hmm.
Always focusing on when to build for the future and when to live right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like that's my hardest struggle too.
yeah. I think for
Everything,
everybody.
yeah,
Hmm.
everything in me wants to like study 23 hours a day,
Yeah, you're like
and
looking at 10 years from now, I'm going to be
I'm gonna be
this.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but like right now, like who are you? Because I know I'm somebody that I can appreciate who I am right now. And if I soak up those moments, it means so much more than these 10 years later that I don't even know is going to ever come.
hmm. Hmm. Dang, no, you said something super important because we don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Right.
It's a lot better to live with the confidence that you are who you're supposed to be right now
Hmm.
than in the future trying to be someone you might not ever become.
Yeah, because you
You know?
don't know if you're just throwing away all that time.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It makes me think of remember Click, the movie Click.
Nope.
Ah, dang. So,
I have a terrible movie
oh, you're
memory.
good. No, no worries. That's what I'm here for. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Adam Sandler, he was working that big fancy job, and his boss would never let him off, and he got a universal TV
Yep, I
remote that
remember
controlled his
it.
life.
I loved that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, that movie's awesome.
Yeah.
But towards the end of the movie, he fast forwarded like 15 years, and he was on his deathbed. And he was like, "Well, how did I get here?" He was like, "Well," or Jack Nicholson. He was like, "Well, you spent all your time with." I think it was Jack Nicholson. I don't know,
I don't
but
remember.
he was like, "You spent all your time at work instead of with your family and living right now." You know,
Mm,
and it makes me think like if I had that remote, what would my life actually look like 15 years from now?
right.
Yeah, kind of like when you see the Ebenezer Scrooge movies and everything, Ghost of Christmas
Mm-hmm.
Past, Present, and Future.
Yeah.
Like if you don't take care of yourself, what's actually going to happen to you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I feel like it's important for you to say that, and your story is honestly worth telling. And nothing to be ashamed about either.
Thank
Like
you.
you needed all those years of not being yourself and wanting to be at home in yourself to be able to talk to everybody else the way you do. Because you see yourself online and everything, you're very inspiring.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, you put your words together really well. I could definitely see you speaking to like crowds of people.
Yeah, I would love
Yeah,
that. More like in my business plan, like I would love to go to elementary schools and middle schools and high schools and colleges and like talk to them about the things we were missing. Like, we didn't get really talked to about wellness or how to
yeah,
take care of
taking care of
yourself.
yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like even health class, like,
Did I get this 3.0 average, so you can go to
yeah.
college. Like,
So, yeah, it should be something that's implemented into our day. So, I
yeah,
would love to see where schools actually have a mindfulness program or a mindfulness class that you're in every day that you get to sit and learn about yourself.
yeah,
Because,
definitely like a college course for sure.
yeah,
But it seems like you want to go into like or like municipalities for schools and everything.
Just as early as possible. If
Yeah.
you can learn how to identify things going on in your body and regulate your emotions and your nervous system, I feel like that would make a huge difference, because there's a lot of kids who are going through things at home that you don't know about, and they don't go home and learn about how to sit with their thoughts, or regulate, or stop and take a breath, or how to connect their mind to their body by grounding, things like that. But if they knew those skills, then when something comes up like that, that would be an automatic thought. It's like that seed's planted.
Mm-hmm. Grounding kind of tickles because my feet are sensitive.
Yeah. Well, that's just one type of grounding. You could even sit down in the chair with your eyes closed, and you could connect a cord to the center of the universe. Could be another type of grounding.
Wait, what? What do you mean? I've never heard of that.
Yeah. So I heard this recently, and I did that. So it's a practice where you close your eyes, your feet are on the ground, and you're picturing a cord coming from like your root chakra. And so as the cord goes down, you're going to see the floor that you're on. Then you're going to see the layers under it, the concrete. Then, as the building, you come out of the building, and then you go down to the grass and the dirt and the rocky, more like clay type, till you get down to the water, till all the way till you get down to the center of the earth, which is a ball of fire. And you learn how to anchor yourself to the universe, and you can help yourself be grounded, because if you can picture that anchor, then you stay grounded, basically, is what the practice is.
That makes sense. Yeah. And a lot of people are floating out here.
Yeah. I mean, I was too, so that's why I'm like, what do I need to do to feel calm?
Yeah. When people say you can't get addicted to marijuana, I'm like, not so fast.
Right, yeah, like, please be so for real. Why do you think it's legal? Because it's addictive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can sedate yourself to the point where you're not yourself, or you're a shell of yourself. So.
Yeah.
But I don't think I have the patience to ground all the way to the center of the earth. Is it
small steps? You don't have to do it all at once. You could ground right here to the top of the floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask, what do you recommend for people who've never done it, never tried? So start small.
Yeah, you start small. You could start with 1 minute or 2 minutes, and then you could do that for several days or a week, and then you could add 1 minute, like however small you need to do it. And there's a lot of different, like I said, ways to do it. So we have AI now. You can talk to your ChatGPT, ways to ground. Like last night, I was having a super emotional night, very concerned about one of my daughters, and I knew it was a full moon, and that comes with like some heavy emotions. So with all my practices that I do, I didn't really feel like doing any of them, if that makes sense. Like, even for me, like, I do all these practices, but when I'm in the depths of things, it's like sometimes you get stuck in that. And like, I mean,
and you
sometimes
want to be stuck,
right? Like,
you want to feel it.
And sometimes like crying is like crying, and being in that is okay, because crying is cleansing too.
Yeah,
you're still releasing it. So I wrote, and then I looked up on ChatGPT ways to help me through it, and it had me do hand to heart grounding, just putting my hand on the heart and saying, I am here, I am safe, I am grounded. And apparently that's like a scientifically proven way to automatically calm your nervous system.
Yeah.
And then it's
like being there for yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they did breath work, and they did, it was mainly affirmations. So like ChatGPT, connecting it to your wellness can be a huge, it's like having a coach if you're using it properly. I just wouldn't, like, finding that balance, like I said, between, like, you could be stuck on your phone talking to ChatGPT, and then you never do that because you're just learning about what to do the whole time. So finding out what to do and then implementing it in your life, and not expecting perfection out of yourself, and understanding that just because you come into wellness and you're doing great doesn't mean you're never going to go back into any type of darkness.
Yeah.
So once you get there, you experience hard times, just being able to like sit with those feelings and be an observer of what you're going through and relearn and re-practice pulling yourself back up.
And being appreciative for it.
Yeah.
Imagine if we were all just happy all the time.
Right.
That would suck.
Yeah. It'd be like what would
be
I don't know what that would be like.
It'd be artificial.
Yeah.
Just like being sad all the time is artificial.
Yes.
There are good things to think about, just like there's bad things to think about.
Right.
But if you find that balance, you'll be able to find where you fit in with all that. Angela, I do appreciate your time. One more question, unless you had like anything else you wanted to talk about. We talk about anything, but what would you say to that person who you were back then? As you now, like, what would you tell them, or would you just give her a hug?
I feel like my phrase would be, if you only knew, or like just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like you kind of always know what you want to be like internally, what type of person you desire to be. It's just always the battle of, you feel like you're fighting yourself to being that person, or you're just like, well, some people are like, screw it, I'm never going to be that person, so I just accept who I am of being a bum or whatever.
And sometimes you got to see it. Like, you got to see it outside of yourself,
Yes.
Or have somebody tell you, like, if you only knew what you are actually capable of, you wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, and staying around positive people, because you definitely will be drained by the company you keep. If you are around draining and negative people, you are the company you keep. That is a big thing. If I could go back and make myself know that, that would be probably the one thing. Major.
Yeah, no, that's powerful. Thank you. Seriously, this is
You're
awesome.
Welcome. Yeah.
I hope my questions didn't like frighten you or terrify you or anything.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. Where can everybody find you, so we know where to look, and so I know where to put it in the summary?
Yeah, so I am on Facebook, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram. I have Elemental Wellness Company on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And then my personal page, Angela Dickson, is where I post a little bit of a combination of everything. But my Elemental Wellness is specifically directed towards Ayurveda and herbalism. And Ayurveda is like mobility, stretching, and all that. So
I know, I saw there's a lot of like physical activity. You were talking about strengthening muscles without weights too.
Yes.
Yeah. We can get to talk about all that.
Yeah.
Probably next time.
Yeah. So, and then I have Goof Proof Cleaning Solutions is on Facebook as well. So yeah, my social is my name, and Elemental Wellness Company, I would say, were the main ones.
Awesome.
Unless you want cleaning.
I might have to take that. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of things I'm not trying to clean in my apartment.
Yeah, we got some good discounts going on right now.
There you go. Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate you. And we definitely got to do it again, because I have more questions about Ayurveda.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
100%. And I'll be sure to do more research too.
Okay, perfect.
Appreciate you. Love you guys. You guys know where to find me, and we'll see you again next time. Love you. Bye.